Hello everybody, checking back in, and what a final climax run we had to the top. The top is in for now, and we're going to look for consolidation now. As anticipated, sell the news is occurring. It happened right towards the end of day one of the conference, and we have bearish reversal candlesticks forming. This upper wick on Bitcoin is showing profit taking. Volume climaxes often signal the top of an uptrend or the bottom of a downtrend. We're going to have the highest daily volume that we've seen in a very long time today. Last time we had a volume climax, it was a temporary top. We consolidated for 3 days, and then we saw continuation. We could see that again, but I don't believe we will. I think this pullback is going to be a bit more prolonged. I think it's going to play out over a few days. The bulls want to hold this moving average. It's the 10 period. And we have held that moving average the last 2 periods of consolidation, and that's all the way down here at 1900. That'll be catching up in the mid to upper 1900s the next couple of days. So this is a bearish reversal candlestick, a red day tomorrow, and a loss of the low of today. We'll confirm it, and then we're going to look and pull back, and the highest, or the level that the bulls need to hold to maintain the strongest uptrend is 1690 to keep our higher lows intact. You see our high, our low, lower high, higher low, so there's our support right there, and then continuation. The bulls must hold 1610, otherwise that's a big red flag. Keep in mind, trading is going to completely shift. If you've been day trading and flipping like I have been on the way up, it is going to change. We are now shifting momentum, and the trend has changed on the shorter term. It's going to be a lot harder to flip. It's going to be shorter term trades. I just flipped Ethereum 160 to 163. I was in and out in less than 5 minutes. I sprinted up from the garden. I checked my phone and saw we were dumping, and sprinted up with a handful of peas and kale and flipped it for $3 in 5 minutes, and that's all I'm going to be doing now. Just quick flips, wait for a support level to be found, and wait for the uptrend to begin before thinking of holding anything longer term. And by longer term, I mean anything more than an hour, really. And that's just me personally. So we're looking for this pullback, and looking on the shorter term time frames, you see the dump initiating, you see the high bear volume. If you've been watching this move the past few days, you have seen the shift. And on this pullback, it was all different. And I'm just talking about Ethereum specifically for me. I assume Bitcoin was the same, but it was a shift where on these pullbacks on the way up, it was very quick flushes to the downside. And now it's very clear that those were stop losses being triggered and everybody loading up. And if you got in on 5-minute oversold dumps, it was very, very easy to see quick bounces and then continuation. So everybody was loading the dips. That is not the case anymore. Now we are seeing people selling into the short-term bounces, and we're seeing downside action. The RSI on the hourly, once we hit oversold, then I'll look for a little bit longer term. So that's a good time frame perspective. When the 5-minute RSI is oversold, I'm looking to hold for 5-10 minutes. When the hourly RSI is oversold, I'll look to hold a little bit longer because I'm looking at a longer term time frame. So here on the 5-minute time frame for Bitcoin, there was the dump right there. There's your signal where we break the higher lows. And then it was just 10 minutes of all-out dump. These are bear flags. A bear flag is when you have a dump and a weak bounce attempt and then continuation to the downside. When I saw the first bear flag on Ethereum, and I even tried to play that bounce, and I took a couple $100 loss and just knew what was happening because I saw the shift. I saw no one was slamming the ask like they used to. When we're dumping here, it's just all going into the bid. So the bears are in full control right now of the short-term time frame, and we are looking for further pullback. This is not a one-day event, in my opinion. We could pull back for the next week. The hype is gone right now. The conference is over. Well, it's not over, but everybody is saying, okay, what's the next catalyst? They want to lock in their profit. People are going to be looking to reload, absolutely. Everybody knows people that have money in transit waiting to hit their accounts. There will be a nice bounce play. I'm just going to be very patient stalking it. And the first bounce I'll look for is the hourly oversold. We'll see if we get that tonight. And like I said, I just played that 5 minutes. So here's Ethereum, bearish reversal candlestick. Inverted hammer, big upper wick. And we are looking for follow through. And I'm looking for a move. I'm looking for a pullback down here into the 130 range, 130, 140. I know it called a 20% pullback. And we pulled back about 16% from the high so far. So technically I'm not right yet. But I'm going to be looking for a move down into the 120, 140 range. I know that's a very broad range, but I'm going to take it one day at a time, and I'm going to be stalking it like a hawk and waiting patiently for signals to get in. And I will certainly keep posting videos as to what I'm looking for. It'll be a lot easier when I could just point to it. So here it was more clear on Ethereum. That Bitcoin chart on the 5-minute time frame and the hourly was just an all-out dump from the top. That was they pulled out the rug. That's what that expression means. Here on Ethereum, it was more clear. We had the rug pulled out, the bulls bought the dip one last time, and there's our lower high. So the all-time high was 184.22. We formed a lower high just under 183, And then we started pulling back. And as soon as that double tops in, that is the red flag to the bulls. And we pull back significantly. We have a long way to go before we're oversold here on the hourly time frame. And we're just looking for lower highs and lower lows now. So initially on the dump, I was not sure that the dump was in yet and that it was bottomed out, or I should say topped out. This was a bear flag, and this is a trade attempt that I made and I failed at, and I quickly exited. I got it because we have seen bounces right around oversold RSI levels. I saw the bulls start to buy the dip. I joined them, and then I saw this bear flag shaping up. Once I saw this upper wick forming on the 5-minute time frame, I said I want out because I am not seeing the ask slapping that we saw on the way up. Things have shifted. The trend has shifted. Momentum has changed. This is what I was looking for. So I exited with a small loss and then ran back up. I played this candlestick here. Why I was confident in this candlestick was we were well below 30 RSI and volume. The volume climax shows a big push down by the bears and a big buying by the bulls. I hit the ask for 160 because I missed it by a couple dollars. I was out of breath panting and jumped in, hit the ask at 160 and very quickly exited at 163. And looking at it now, that was a really nice exit. And that's the kind of thing where I just exit and I don't even need to watch it anymore. I got back up and went outside and, that's that. But we're testing the lows right now of 155.55, and if we break that, we're seeing another leg to the downside. So this is not over yet, and again, this is a multiple day event in my opinion. So I'm looking down here. I see 156.25. We just broke below that. Next support we're looking at, let's move some of these lines around right down here. That's our next level, 146.30. That will give us the 20% pullback from the top. And then we've got every consolidation low on the hourly, our supports. There's a lot of support in the 120s. If we were to head down into the 120s in the next few days, I would definitely be looking a lot more consistently for an entry. And what I'm going to be looking for to be confident in holding for longer term on a bullish entry is higher lows and higher highs. Once I see the first higher low form on Ethereum, I'm going to be confident that the bottom is in for now. Until then, I'm looking for lower highs and lower lows. So you can see that very clearly on the 5-minute time frame. Nothing but lower highs and lower lows since the dump started. Very short bounces, 10-minute bounces. People are taking their profit and getting out. Declining bull volume on those bounces. Let's look on the way up. On the way up, when we saw dumps and bounces, we saw high bull volume. Let's see if we can find an example. So here's a dump. Look at the dump to the downside. Look at the bear volume. The first 10 minutes of bull volume, higher than the bear volume. Very significant. And then we saw that continuation. And now these bounce attempts, declining bull volume and now no follow through. So we're here at the lows. And what I'm talking about on the hourly time frame to be looking for higher lows and then higher highs to look for more confidence in the bottom being set, Litecoin is doing it on the daily. So Litecoin had the sell the news event. This is why I was so confident to put myself out there and say I think that we're going to see this again. And it's also, again, we saw this in the US MJ sector, the Canadian MJ sector. I've been playing these hype markets for 7 years. And what I mean by hype market is this is all straight euphoria. I started seeing we've got video cards being back ordered from people trying to mine. We've got my Facebook feed has people that have no interest in cryptocurrency asking if they should put their money in. That's a huge red flag in the short term. That says bubble to me. That's hype. That's euphoria. We are in the euphoric stage of the run. So Litecoin did it a couple weeks ago. We had a little preview of what to expect. We had a huge run up. We had a bearish reversal candlestick. Look at this. It's not a one-day event. This played out, and we hit our bottom for now. It took 2, 4, 6 days from the top. So if it were to be similar, we would be talking a week from now and be looking to find that bottom. And we ended up pulling back 39 down to 21. So 18 out of 39. We are talking, maybe 40%. So significant pullback. But back to what I was talking about. Sorry to be jumping all over the place. Hourly time frame for ETH when I'm looking for higher lows and higher highs. Ethereum is starting to do that now. And I said in the last video, we're looking for a higher low to form here. Back to the inverse correlation to jump around again. The inverse correlation is not there as significantly as I thought it would be. It is there and it's off and on, but not enough for me to be comfortable playing Litecoin bullish. I did play it bullish this morning. We had a really nice bounce off the lows. We saw about a 12 to 15% bounce from the lows to the highs. So there were some nice gains to be had there. But once you could see that it wasn't a very clear direct inverse correlation, and that's a little oxymoron. Once it wasn't a clear indirect correlation, inverse correlation, then it was a signal that, that's not the play here. The play is not to be getting into Litecoin when the cryptocurrency space is pulling back. And what did that for me is watching the shorter term time frames when I was trading it, look at the upper wicks. Every bounce attempt, this is all selling pressure. This says profit taking. This says bears knocking the price down. If you're watching the bid and the ask on GDAX, you're seeing that every time the bulls, you know, those big green flashes that just make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, and all the asks get taken out, and then instantly they get filled right back in by robots, by algorithms, by people or by computers putting 0.1, 0.005 and just dropping the ask right back down to not allow the bids to climb up. That's what's going on there. When you're looking at the bid and the ask, you can get so much information by the interaction of the bids and the asks together. Not only can you see the humans that are putting their big bids, if you see a bunch of bids and not a lot of asks, you know the bulls are about to run it, and vice versa. But you can see what the algorithms are doing. Algorithms, I don't know how to say it, you know what I mean? Either way, you're looking at the bid and the ask filling in, and you see it to the bull side too. If you see someone whack the bid and sell into it and a bunch of the bids get taken out, you instantly see them fill back up and get as tight as they can to the ask to not allow people to drop the price lower. And that's algos and computers doing that. And you can see it, and it's now shifting on both Litecoin, or I should say it's been that way on Litecoin. It's shifting on Ethereum and Bitcoin to now do it from bulls favoring the bulls to now favoring the bears. So here on Litecoin, we have a bullish reversal candlestick on the daily time frame. It looked a lot better a little bit earlier, but it is still a bullish reversal hammer, and it's a higher low. So this is the higher low. We need a green day tomorrow to confirm this bullish reversal candlestick, and then once we break 29.41, we break the lower high pattern, and we then have a higher low and a higher high, and that would shift the trend to favor the bulls. I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's what I'm going to be keeping an eye out for, but that's what I'd be looking for on the hourly for Ethereum, higher low and then a higher high to indicate the trend has changed, but I'll be hopping right back on and making another video once I see those signs. So for now, I am very quickly scalping trades, if anything, only in oversold conditions. Otherwise, I'm counting my profit, having a good time, and waiting a few days at least for this pullback to settle in. So no need to get anxious here. It's worth being patient. It's worth buying into momentum. It's not the kind of thing where you look at the price and say, oh, Ethereum's down to 130. It's got to go up soon. No, no, no. You got to wait till momentum is in your favor. I would much rather buy $5 to $10 higher and be confident that the bulls are in our favor and we're shifting the trend back to the upside than I would be to try and catch the way down. You do not want to try and catch this falling knife. And it's not really falling a knife because we have so many support levels, but it's a very steep downtrend currently. And you don't want to try and guess and time the bottom. You want to have confidence that support is established. So that's all I got for now. I talked a lot. I jumped all over the place. I'll try and be a bit more organized on the next video. And I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see how low we go. And the signal to be watching for is bearish reversal confirmation tomorrow with further downside. And we're going to see a bounce on this hourly on both Bitcoin and Ethereum tonight. We will see a bounce and a lower high set, and then probably a lower low into the morning. So I'll be watching the RSI to see if we get oversold. I doubt we'll get to that RSI oversold. We'd need to see another $10 drop on Ethereum to get down there. But we will see a short-term bounce and a lower high and then a lower low. So I appreciate you watching. Feel free to ask any questions, comment, like, share, do a dance, all that.